Assalamu alaikum. We are live with Shafam once again. बहुत welcome and a very good Saturday to all of you who are watching and who will be watching later. Um, हम पिंकटोबर मना रहे हैं, सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं, even though this month should not, this awareness campaign should not just be reduced and compartmentalized in 1 month. This awareness, these campaigns should run year long, जहाँ पे हम लोग ब्रेस्ट कैंसर अवेयरनेस, ब्रेस्ट कैंसर के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, छाती के कैंसर के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, इतने सारे स्टिग्मास के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, जहाँ पे वर्ड ब्रेस्ट और वर्ड छाती यूज करना एक टैबू है. हम इन सब चीज़ों को डिफाई करके वी आर ट्राइंग to bring forward so much education and awareness right now. And that is what Shafam's main goal right now is, कि आप अपने कंफर्ट जोन में से निकले, कम फॉरवर्ड, get yourself screened, get yourself tested so that आपको पता हो you are safe. And so today we have a very inspirational person with us. She is a celebrity. Her name is Asma Nabeel. She is not only a mother, she is a working woman, and she is also a cancer warrior. She is a writer, producer, host, motivational speaker, and सबसे बड़ी की बात यह है कि उन्होंने ये तय किया कि no, this is not just my journey. This is a journey for every woman out there and every woman who is unable to bring her journey forward. And so she decided to embark upon this wonderful campaign कि वो highlight करेंगी not just other issues which are considered stigma and taboo, but she is going to bring forth how women have the support and can get treated for breast cancer. So let's welcome Asma with us. Assalamu alaikum, Asma.
Walaikum assalam. How are you? Thank you so much, Rabia, for such a wonderful and nice introduction. Humbled.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It is such a privilege, Asma. I know there are good days and bad days, but to take out time and to still be here with a smiling face is really an honor for us.
The pleasure is all mine because, talking about this issue, it always gives me a kick and, it's very energizing for me. So I think after this, I will start feeling better.
And I wish you that you do feel better. आपने एनर्जी की बात करी, so even though I had something else planned कि हम उधर से शुरू करेंगे, I do want to talk about energy and this woman, this Asma, who was 7 years ago. How did Asma from 7 years ago to now, is she still the same person or has she evolved?
No, she's not the same person. 7 years back, Asma was a very normal type of a woman, a very regular sort of a thankless person. I think all of us are, until unless we come across a tragedy or some sort of a thing which is very unexpected in your life. And again, I think there are few privileged people who get the right track after that tragic time of life. And sometimes उसमें भी लोग deviate कर जाते हैं and negativity में चले जाते हैं and they go into that zone of, why me and all those things, negative things. So yeah, 7 years back, I was not the same person. I was a normal woman who was not taking care of herself, who was only thinking everything is in her control. She had a perfect life. She had a perfect professional life. And, she was growing as a professional. She was enjoying that. So all the things which are very materialistic and all the things which we think are more important than your health were important for her also. And I think then this sudden emergence of breast cancer and everything, it changed me a lot. It created that, peace and patience and asma that everyone needs in their lives. You need to, take out some time for yourself to think about a lot of things, to, just give time to yourself. वाली zone जो है वो हमारे अंदर नहीं होती है. So I think as a person I've changed a lot. I'm a much more peaceful person. I'm a much more patient person. I'm a much more thankful person. I'm a much more, I think, क्या कहना चाहिए, more motivational, and more, I think, a person with a motive right now. Before that, I think the motives were very dunyavi, like profession, home only. But now the horizons has, you know, expanded. So that's the difference. I feel that, the life before, like this incident and 7 years back, the life was only for me, and the life was mine only. But after 7 years and after my recurrence, also, I think the life is for the rest of the females and the rest of the women. The way you said in the beginning, also, I think my life is now not only about me. It is about a lot more, and for more and more females, uh, I want to dedicate my life and work.
एंड आपने बहुत बहुत जगह पे ये बात की है अस्मा के इन योर इलनेस हैज एक्चुअली मेड यू अ बेटर पर्सन and you have been able to come out as a rising phoenix. I read one of your print interviews जहाँ पे आपने कहा कि I was stuck in the rut of my life and now I feel that मेरा एक मकसद है, मेरी जिंदगी का
Yeah.
एक मकसद है, which is above all of this. You are a mother to 2 kids, you have a family, you have a life. And when we talk about acknowledgement, Asma, I was watching your interview, and उसमें आपने कहा कि when you got your results, you were actually flying off to Dubai the next day. And you continue to say कि, you laughed, आप हंसी, you were like, what is this? And you continued with your trip.
Yeah.
And you said, अब मैं वापस आऊंगी तो देखा जाएगा, मैं थोड़ी सी रिटेल थेरेपी के लिए जा रही हूँ.
I love
That
shopping, by the way.
many of us do, many of us do. But that moment of acknowledgement where you have been diagnosed and you
Yeah.
know now, you are unaware of your body's signal. What acknowledgement did you sort of, process at that point?
When I gave that unexpected reaction,
Yeah.
I now I realize that even that laughter and even that casualness uh, was a phase of denial at that time. I'm being very honest, because it was not a normal reaction. A normal woman would have reacted in a different way. But sometimes you deny through depression. Sometimes you deny through staying quiet. But over a period of time, I read also and I realized also that there are different types of denial. And that laughter was a denial
Yes.
that, okay, no, no, it's okay, So you laugh, you smile, and I just, but I think that is a good thing that I did. Uh, because those 3-4 days when there were, like my family was taking my appointments and everything, so I was away from all that negative discussion जो कि आपको और थोड़ा downer देती है.
जी.
But now I at that time I used to think that no, it's like a sort of a bravery that I showed. But अब मुझे completely यही लगता है कि it was a denial phase. And then when I came back into reality, then I realized that, okay, no, it has actually happened to me. So the acknowledgement happened when the treatment actually started. Okay, this has happened to me. And now I have to, move on. I have to take this pain. And in the initial time, yeah, Allah has been really kind. And I think Allah is holding my hand since day one of my treatment. But initial, I think 1 or 2 months, I was not the same person again. And I was like a little confused about my life. And I was a little confused about what will happen. And yes, I was scared also in the beginning. Because again मैं एक और जगह भी कहीं ये बात कहती है, because I was a normal Asma Nabeel at that time, a normal woman at that time. So I was scared also. And I was concerned about those things कि वो faith की weakness थी. You know, I was thinking about kids कि मैं चली जाऊंगी तो बच्चों का क्या होगा, बर्बाद हो जाएंगे, what will happen, this and that and blah and blah. We don't realize that Allah has created a process. It's a, you know, it's a circle of life. You come and you go. I have seen people going like within fractions of second, like friends, young friends going. Uh, they don't have cancer. They don't have anything. They are just standing and they just go. And next day they become a memory. You know. So we just don't know when and how we have to go. So why worry? So worry jo thi, that was I think my lack of faith, but it slowly and gradually changed. So second
And
time when I got diagnosed, then those worries were not there.
and this is such a true moment, Asma, like which I am lucky to be experiencing with you, because so many years later that woman has now acknowledged कि वो जो मैं हंसी थी वो actually मेरा denial था, and giving hope to so many more women कि ठीक है अगर आप हंस रहे हो कोई बात नहीं, many years later you will be able to relive that moment in a glorified version.
If
And
you want to, Rabia, I
if
want
you
to say,
want
if
to.
you want to,
Absolutely, absolutely.
only you can do it. No one else. No one else.
And I want to say over here, Asma, that हमारे numbers in Pakistan are very
Yes.
very alarming. We are the number one country in Asia, which
Hmm.
is where one out of every nine women are diagnosed with
Yes.
breast cancer. And even though the WHO figures are 40,000 of women a year, doctors say okay, the numbers are much much more severe than that.
Yeah.
And I know that you have highlighted this many many a times. And so bringing back to your journey, which is what we are speaking about today. At that point, you were a mother of two. Your children were very little. It is a kind of a consumption जहाँ पे हमें taboo or stigma, we have to rise above it.
Yes.
Being a media personality, did you feel that there were glimpses where you were that line was getting blurred जहाँ पे आपको clarity चाहिए थी कि बस मुझे थोड़ी सी clarity मिल जाए तो I will rise above all of this?
I think when I was being diagnosed, there were a lot of clarities that I was looking for. And I felt like a very illiterate, very uneducated person the first time when I got my diagnosis in my hand. And this happens with most of the females because, you know, we feel that we are very educated, we know everything. But when it comes to health, um, be it males or females, you know, in our country, we are very illiterate and we need a lot of like clarities and we need a lot of like, you know, there is a, वो कहते हैं ना एक नई टर्मिनोलॉजी आ गई है, there is smog, there is a smog around us and we are not even trying to clear that smog from all around us. So I was also standing in between that smog. हर तरह की क्लैरिटी चाहिए थी फर्स्ट टाइम तो आई वॉज नॉट इवन क्लियर अबाउट कि जाना कहाँ है किस डॉक्टर के पास जाऊं क्योंकि यू being a woman and every woman still a lot of women they feel that breast cancer is not going to happen you know मुझे क्यों होगा it's this is not a question for me you know sort of a thing so I think we need to now at least in this situation through this platform I want to say that clear out that smog that is there around you and come out of that fog and try to realize that this can happen to anyone so वो clarities मैंने खुद ढूंढी बहुत मुश्किल हुई मुझे you know from finding out the surgeons and finding out the treatments and then 7 years back the taboos were immense when I you know hit the ground for the first time as an advocate I realized that I can't even take the name of breast या छाती का लफ्ज मैं इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकती because it's a taboo people have like smiles and uncomfortable feelings and you know um, you just feel very they make you feel uncomfortable when you're talking about it But slowly and gradually, I think in 7 years, what happened is that females like me, and still there are very few females. There are a handful of females who are still willing to talk about it, who have gone through this entire process because they just don't want to discuss it. They just don't want to open it in front of the society because still it's a very tabooed subject right now. You know, so बहुत सारी क्लैरिटीज अभी भी लोगों को चाहिए. मुझे क्लैरिटी थी अब जब मेरा सेकंड टाइम रिकरेंस हुआ है. uh, but I was clear in terms of a lot of things, what I need to do, how I need to do, where I have to go, in terms of doctors, in terms of hospitals, in terms of what should be I doing with myself under treatment now. So हमारे यहाँ तो कोई support है ही नहीं ना.
एंड इसी बात को लेते हुए अस्मा, सपोर्ट, इट्स अ ह्यूज डील. ठीक है.
Yeah.
आपने जैसे कि यू नो बाज़ औक़ात और बहुत अमूमन ये होता है कि यू गो फॉर अ स्क्रीनिंग एंड सब ये कहते हैं कि या इर्द गिर्द की जो नॉइज एंड जो आवाजें हैं वो ये कहती हैं क्या वो तुम्हारी छाती को छुएंगे, क्या वो उसको टच करके चेक करेंगे. एंड इट इज सच अ ओवरवेलमिंग मोमेंट कि जो जो औरत है जो खुद उस प्रोसेस के थ्रू गुजर रही है, उस टू बी एबल टू एक्सेप्ट के हाँ मुझे इस टेस्ट के लिए या स्क्रीनिंग के लिए जाना है, हाँ मेरी छाती को लोग छुएंगे. एंड यू हिट द नेल ऑन द, यू नो, यू जस्ट came to the point of support. 7 years ago, what kind of, other than familial support, was there any kind of other support around you जहाँ पे आप जा सकती थी and आप कहती कि okay, अब you know I've been diagnosed with breast cancer, what is the next step?
No. There was no, there was no counseling. There was no, there was not a single support group that at least I found out at that time, because there were a lot of issues that a woman, face. And I also face those things, but because I think Allah has designed me in that way, I'm a strong woman. Every woman is not that strong, though. I feel that every woman is designed in a very strong way and in a very strong manner. But because of the societal pressures, females are made felt that they are weak. So that is why वो zone में चले जाते हैं, जबकि औरतें अल्लाह की तरफ से डिजाइन नहीं है weaker zone में. The society makes them feel that you're weak. But because me as an individual, um, I was a strong person, so I counseled myself at that time. There was no support group. When I had my mastectomy, it's not the most difficult thing in this entire journey is that for any woman is that the equations are that okay, you're planning to lose the body part जो आपकी वो कहते हैं ना निस्वानियत से जुड़ा हुआ है. Again, with breast, without breast, मेरी definition of woman change नहीं हो रही है. बट सोसाइटी ने की हुई है ना. सो हमको शुरू से बीइंग यंग गर्ल्स एंड किड्स हमको ये रियलाइज कराया जाता है कि दिस इज योर बॉडी, ये चीज वो चीज. एंड द एंटायर क्रक्स इज अराउंड दिस वन बॉडी पार्ट. आई डोंट नो व्हाई. सो यू आर सो, दिस इज लाइक यू आर इमोशनली अटैच्ड विद दिस बिकॉज यू फील कि हमारी निस्वानियत हमारे इस जिस्म के हिस्से के साथ है, विच इज इन अ वे फाइन ऑल्सो बिकॉज अल्लाह ने अगेन बॉडी को इस तरह डिजाइन किया है. सो व्हेन यू आर लूजिंग, व्हेन यू आर प्लानिंग टू लूज दैट पार्ट ऑफ बॉडी, which is not always the case, by the way. I want to give this message that there are two types of surgeries. There is lumpectomy, and in some cases आप सिर्फ cancerous areas निकालते हैं, आप breast नहीं remove करते. But in the cases where the cancer has gone beyond your control, so you just undergo mastectomy, which is basically removing the breast. Again, then there are सर्जरीज के अब तो बहुत ज्यादा ऑप्शंस आ गए हैं. यू हैव लाइक प्लास्टिक सर्जरीज, यू कैन हैव लाइक रिकंस्ट्रक्शंस डन एंड एवरीथिंग. बट कमिंग बैक टू योर क्वेश्चन, वो बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट था मेरे लिए. इट इज नॉट इजी टू एक्सेप्ट योर बॉडी, योर न्यू बॉडी, योर न्यू सेल्फ. So I counseled myself at that time. Then losing your hair is another very emotional moment for every woman, because again, see, these are those stigmas or issues that the society has created around us. जब हम गंजे आदमियों को देखते हैं तो क्या हम कहते, मतलब मजाक तो एक हमारा हमेशा ही चलता है ना कि ये गंजा है, ये टकलू है. शेमिंग इज, पर्सनल शेमिंग इज ऑलवेज अ जोक इन आवर सोसाइटी एंड इन एवरी सोसाइटी. कोई मोटा है या कोई गंजा है तो आप मजाक उड़ा देते हैं. बट when a woman is bald, then it becomes a stigma, then it becomes a ho hai, then it becomes a, oh, वो देखो गंजी और जा रही है. So when I was undergoing my chemo first time 7 years back, obviously I lost my hair because मेरी 18 कीमोज हुई. तो आफ्टर फर्स्ट कीमो 14th डे आपके बाल चले जाते हैं. दैट्स नॉर्मल प्रोसेस. But being a person, I never wanted to cover my head. And in chemo, you feel very hot and very uncomfortable. And आपके ना धुएं निकल रहे होते हैं सर से भी और हर तरफ से. So आपका नहीं दिल करता यार कुछ भी करने को.
बिल्कुल.
Lekin I tried to go out without covering my head. And I'm not saying that I'm against covering the head or anything. The females who feel comfortable, that's fine. But there are few females who just don't feel comfortable like me. So let us live the way we want to live. But मुझे लोगों ने इतना uncomfortable कराया कि मैं फिर परेशान होकर सर ढकना शुरू हो गई. मुझे गर्मी लगती थी, घबराहट होती थी, स्कार्फ मुझे बांधना नहीं आता था. But I tried to learn those things. And in all those small hiccups, ये बड़े small hiccups होते हैं that time, because आपका सबसे बड़ा hiccup होता है आपका treatment. कोई था ही नहीं बताने के लिए, कोई था ही नहीं दिल जोड़ने के लिए, कोई था ही नहीं ये समझाने के लिए कि ओके देखो मैं भी गुजरी हूँ इस चीज से. Internationally you have support groups. And even now, Rabia, even now, we are still talking about we should have support groups. There are one or two. And there are females like me who are working on this cause now. So there are a lot of females who are in touch with me. किसी के connection से कोई जुड़ जाता है, तुम्हारा कोई program देख लेगा, कोई Facebook पे ढूंढ लेगा. But that is not the solution now.
Absolutely.
We need proper support groups for females to give them courage.
Absolutely. And if I may, Asma, there was a post from you on this very topic of being bald after your chemo. And you said, when you keep on smiling, even in the toughest of times, it shows the strength of your faith, the power of your belief. Time can never be the same. It changes because it's unstoppable. So do we. A big shout out to all the cancer warriors and whoever is going through this phase right now. Just stay strong, smile, and move on, because whatever time you have, live it, love it. And if I may, I just want to turn my phone with your permission and
Yes.
and just show this beautiful picture, if everybody can see it. And this was a teary moment for me, because हम सब बात नहीं करते. My mother went through breast cancer, and all those years ago, 8 years ago, there were no support groups. अभी जैसे कि आपने बताया, there's Pink Ribbon, there's small support groups जो थोड़ा बहुत काम कर रहे हैं. There's advocates like you who are stand alone, trying to do whatever they can in their in out of their comfort zones, but it is not enough. And एक आपने चीज बोली, be true to yourself. Your illness cannot consume the person that you are. And before we talk about how women's lives change and how women's lives are made to change by other forces, मैं आपसे बात करना चाहती हूँ about our body signals, Asma, which we discussed how important it is to listen to our body. What kind of wisdom would you impart कि आप अपने जिस्म को, अपने दिल को सुने कि वो क्या आपसे कहने की कोशिश कर रही है?
I think it's a very, very good question, because this is something, जब मैं अब कोई motivational speaking पे जाती हूँ and I try to talk to the females, and I think it is not only about the females, it is about males also. हम as a nation, we do everything, but we listen to those signals. And it is not about listening to your heart, it is about listening to your body signal देती है आपका. So even we ignore that, we completely ignore that. क्योंकि हमें लगता है कि नहीं हमें कोई बड़ी चीज तो हो ही नहीं सकती ना. When I was diagnosed for the first time 7 years, तो उससे पहले 1 साल तक, and मुझे on and off बुखार होता था. Okay. And because I was a young mother, मेरे दोनों बच्चे बहुत कम डिफरेंस पे थे, like 1.25 साल का फर्क है, 1 year and 2-3 months. I was working also, a very passionate worker, traveling बहुत थी, घर की responsibilities, बच्चों की, because I'm that sort of a woman who tries to control everything with perfection. So in that 1 year, it was like on and off. Sometimes raat mein ho jata tha, sometimes din mein ho jata tha. And I used to take Panadols, and I used to talk to myself, ke, oh, I'm just working a lot. I'm not sleeping properly. I'm not eating properly. Um, I never thought कि मैं इसको चेक करवा लूं जरा जाके, कोई ब्लड टेस्ट करवा लेती हूँ, कुछ करती हूँ कि क्यों ऑन एंड ऑफ हो रहा है, And 1 year later, I was taking bath, and one day I was taking bath, there was no lump in my breast, and the other day, because you feel your body when you apply soap, and I'm very open about it in this platform, because a lot of males and females, everybody will be listening. But जब आप नहा रहे होते हैं, तो you can feel your body. So one day there was no lump, and the other day I found out a huge lump in my breast, and I was like, no, this is not my body. So that is also another thing, कि be aware of your body in terms of कि मेरी एक्चुअल बॉडी में क्या है, और कभी कोई एबनॉर्मल चीज हो रही है तो वो क्या है. बट आई इग्नोर्ड दोज सिग्नल्स. आई थिंक 1 साल से मुझे वो सिग्नल्स मिल रहे थे. एंड दिस हैपेंस विद अ लॉट ऑफ फीमेल्स. मे बी वो, अगर मैं बुखार को इग्नोर नहीं करती, मे बी मैं कोई ब्लड टेस्ट करा लेती, मे बी उन ब्लड टेस्ट में कुछ आ जाता, मे बी आई एम जस्ट सेइंग मे बी. But this happens. Recently, what happened, there is a very young friend of my Devar. He passed away very, very suddenly. Young boy. I think hardly 43, 44. And men and females, इसी पे बात कर रही हूँ. His body was giving him signals. He came back from office. He was not feeling well. He said, I'm feeling very suffocated. So almost 5 hours he ignored those signals. He said, no, maybe it's gastric, it's something. So he ate this. He sat on the roof with the dog. He came back, told his wife, I'm still feeling suffocated. And all of a sudden, there is a severe heart attack, and he fell, and within 2 minutes, that boy is gone. But his body gave him signals for good 5 hours, 4 hours maybe. So, these are the things that we ignore, and it's a humble request to everyone that there are very few people जिनको कोई signals ही नहीं मिलते. ऐसा भी है, नहीं मिलते signals, but sometimes आपकी body आपको signal दे रही होती है, sometimes आपकी body आपको बता रही होती है कि don't push me more, do something about it. And in the case of breast cancer, in 90% cases, females get to know about it one way or another. They just prolong it. There is
And
fear.
please go on.
There is fear. There is, again, वही society की चीजें. फिर वही वाली बात. And then there are financial fears also. I have seen a lot of females not disclosing the lump or not disclosing about this thing कि अच्छा okay, because now at least breast cancer की awareness काफी हो गई, औरतों को पता है बहुत. तो जब वो कोई गुठली महसूस करती हैं, they stop because they feel that okay, वो equation ही शुरू हो जाती है कि I will opt for this इलाज. So there's a lot of like money जो बीच में financial matters involved हो जाएंगे, and then what will happen, and then what will happen to my family and my husband, and I will become a financial burden. So then ignore it. So technically एक तरह से वो औरत कुर्बानी दे देती है अपनी लाइफ की. So there are society के pressures, and then there are these financial pressures because of which we ignore these indications sometimes.
बिल्कुल. एंड आपकी बॉडी, जैसे कि आपने कहा कि समटाइम्स इट कैन बी अ हिट एंड मिस, कि आपको शायद कोई सिग्नल ना मिले, बट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आपकी बॉडी आपको एक सिग्नल देगी. एंड इंस्टेड ऑफ कि मैं बच्चों का ये काम पहले कर लेती हूँ, मैं घर का काम कर लेती हूँ, मैं ऑफिस से वापस आ जाऊँ, फिर देन आई विल लुक एट माई सेल्फ इज द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग, बिकॉज आप हैं तो जान है, जहान है, घर है, बार है, बच्चे हैं, सब कुछ है. इफ यू आर नॉट देयर, यू आर द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट पिलर ऑफ the house. Um, there was one of your interviews, Asma, where you said accessibility of your new self. The statement really hit hard. And you sort of focused on the fact कि अपने आप को प्यार करना, अपने अपने नए जिस्म को, अपनी नई जान को accept करना wholeheartedly is one of the most important things for a cancer, for a breast cancer or a cancer warrior. I wanted to touch upon the fact that you're a multitasker. You have amazing time management skills. You are a workaholic by your own self, you have stated, and you are a mother of two. What kind of wisdom will you impart to all those mothers जो अपनी बीमारी के बायस अपनी जिंदगी में एक खुद के लिए एक रुकावट बन जाती हैं और एक ठहराव चाहती हैं. Why pause and stop after you've been through that, after you've been through that treatment, and when you're back on your feet, what should or what needs to be done?
Okay, first thing that you asked is about self love. You know, this is the new hashtag of my life. Self love, I think, is the most important thing and the most ignored point in every woman's life, or be it here or international, because I announce it in a lot of like international platforms also, where we get to meet a lot of international females who are going through breast cancer and who have gone through or who are working for this cause. It's universal. A woman always prefers, she always prioritizes the love of the family, love of everyone else around her, and self love is the last thing. And when they think about self love, again, it is a societal thing कि जो औरत ज़्यादा self love करती है वो बहुत mean होती है. So this is my request to everyone and every woman and every man that, और मैं बंदों का इसलिए कह रही हूँ कि ये इमोशनल चीजें या ये साइकोलॉजिकल चीजें हैं, it's equally applied to both the genders, you know. So self love is equally important for a woman or a man. And if you're taking care of yourself and if you're putting yourself first when it comes to your health, you should not be called a mean person. So इस डर से self love कहीं खत्म हो जाता है, you know. And you know, me as a woman, you as a girl, a lot of other females, and I call them digitally savvy and you know online working women and females, हम लोग बड़े फिर भी शायद privileged हैं बात कर रहे हैं, but you know majority of our country and the females, उनके घरों में आज भी वही typical मसाइल हैं. I have seen females कीमो के दरमियान वो कह रही होती हैं कि ड्रिप जल्दी खत्म हो जाए, घर जाना है, रोटी बनानी है, सास इंतजार कर रही है. I have heard that and I'm not lying. So you know, when these are your surroundings, where will self love come from? Self ही नहीं है तो love कहाँ से होगा? So these are very very important changes that we need to bring in our society, but with this will take a lot of time because लोग पुरानी चीजों को छोड़ने को तैयार ही नहीं हो रहे हैं. But I'm a very positive believer in the sense that change आएगी. There will be a lot of men and women, they will say कि ये पता नहीं औरत क्या बातें करती रहती है बैठ के, यानी औरतों को बिगाड़ी है. मैं औरतों को बिगाड़ नहीं रही हूँ. I'm just trying to make them understand the importance of their health through these things and try to create some empathetic environment around females who are going through this journey of breast cancer, because when there is no empathy, वो वैसे ही मर जाती हैं आधी, बाकी उन्हें कैंसर मार देता है. So self love is one thing, and the second thing you asked is about, I missed
So
it out.
before I get to the second thing, I just want to add over here. Okay, we recently had Shafam had Dr. and Professor Rufina Sumro, live on this very platform where she was also telling us that there are so many women जो रूरल एरिया से आती हैं, और जिनको पता होता है कि उनको जल्दी जल्दी अपनी ट्रीटमेंट करके वापस घर जाना है. लेकिन over the years now, where advocates like yourself are coming in and talking, it is so important to educate the male members of the house.
Yes.
Whether वो भाई हो, बाप हो, बेटा हो, मियाँ हो, इन सबको educate करना इतना ज़रूरी है कि देखो इस औरत की छाती में से पीप निकल रही है, या उसकी छाती में दर्द है, या वो नहीं कर सकती झुक के काम. तुम उसकी मदद करो, तुम उसको उसके ट्रीटमेंट के लिए लेके आओ, तुम डॉक्टर विजिट के लिए लेके आओ, क्योंकि ये इस औरत की जो जिंदगी है वो उसमें ही निकल जाएगी कि मैंने अभी बच्चों के लिए ये करना है, या घर के लिए ये करना है, या लाइक यू सेड के सास के लिए रोटी डालनी है. And so the compassion, tolerance, and sensitization of the male gender has to be really, really brought in. And I
No,
hope and pray that soon,
yeah. I just want to
we
add
do
one
get
thing,
to that.
Rabia, यहाँ पे.
जी.
Yeah, कि आपकी जो sensitization वाली बात है, I completely agree. And you know, maybe a lot of females will hate me for this, but I don't blame insensitive men a lot
Yeah.
for who they are right now, you know. I blame a lot of mothers who are women themselves for raising a man or a son like, you know, that person जिसमें
Insensitive
आपने
to a
empathy डाली ही
woman's
नहीं,
needs.
जिसको आपने सेंसिटिव बनाया ही नहीं, क्योंकि आप उसकी मर्दानगी को बस हवा
संवारने में
देते
लगे
रहे और
हुए थे.
नर्चर करते रहे. सो इट्स एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, बिकॉज वो कहते हैं ना कि माओ के हाथ में, ठीक है, माँ और बाप मैं बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग एडवोकेट हूँ दैट किड्स आर अ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ मदर एंड फादर, बट एम्पथी वाला एंगल हमेशा माँ लाएगी.
Absolutely.
सो इफ
Absolutely.
मदर्स आर नॉट डूइंग इट, देन इसी तरह के आदमी बड़े होंगे जो औरतों के लिए एम्पथेटिक होंगे ही नहीं. सो टेक्निकली इट्स नॉट देयर फॉल्ट, it's the fault of their brought up, it's the fault of how they're being raised.
Yeah.
That needs to change.
Absolutely. And this is such an important topic for another day,
Or
which
not.
we can have endless conversations on. Kyunki, this is for the second part of जो मैं आपसे सवाल पूछ रही थी अस्मा, वो ये था कि being a passionate woman in terms of career,
Yeah.
you first time when you found out you were really embarking upon a successful career, and you found out that you have to go through treatment. um, वो क्या ऐसी चीज थी, we know that Asma is a strong woman, वो क्या ऐसी चीज थी which kept you going and made you follow your dreams regardless of your treatments and regardless of your illness?
I think now I say that after the will of Allah, it was me only. It was me, and it actually what happens is that when you're being diagnosed or when you're undergoing the treatment, the again the society around you, or maybe our society is designed in such a way that sometimes love is becomes so overwhelming around you कि वो आपको हर चीज से रोक देते हैं. So there are extremes in terms of love also. You tell a woman के बैठ जाओ, अपना काम छोड़ दो, and even sometimes वैसे ही क्योंकि आपका काम लोगों को पसंद नहीं होता, तो वो आपको कहते हैं कि okay, this is the right मौका to tell her to stop and pause, you know, because उनको वो एक opportunity zone मिल जाती है where they can stop the females of what they just don't want them to do, you know. And sometimes it's pure love कि oh नहीं pamper करो, इसे बिठा दो. um, लेकिन what kept on moving me, again मैं वही बात कह रही हूँ कि after the will of Allah, because अगर अल्लाह नहीं चाहता तो मैं भी फिर गई थी, because मेरे सराउंडिंग्स में भी बहुत overwhelming love था जो मुझे ये कह रहा था कि बैठ जाओ, don't move. But I just thought कि no, I'm alive, I'm breathing, this is what I love to do, my work is my passion. I never stopped working even after my 2 deliveries, you know. I used to work constantly because I like working. I can't stop. I can't stop myself. I cannot sit idle. I cannot spend the whole day sitting in one corner and doing nothing and watching TV, or just going and meeting people without any purpose. So I just said no, I can't do that because abhi I'm alive, and I should foresee a life. I should plan for a life. Why am I planning for death? Because when you lie down in a corner, then definitely you are planning for your death. You're halfway gone. अल्लाह नहीं लिखी हुई है तो फिर आप उठ जाते हैं, लेकिन फिर आप बहुत कोई हिम्मत वाले इंसान बन के नहीं उठते हैं. So I said, no, I will have to keep on moving. And there were a lot of arguments, even honestly within my family also, because वो उनका प्यार था. I'm not saying that it was not their love. कहते थे तुम ज्यादती करती हो अपने साथ, और मैं उनसे कहती हूँ, और अभी भी मैं ये कहती हूँ that it is not ज्यादती. Let me do. I know my body now. I know where I need to put a full stop. As I mentioned to you earlier before we were starting, कि today, अगर आज option होता तो मैं थोड़ा सा, and I will do that. I will take a break maybe tomorrow, and I will not do anything. Because your body tells you that, okay, just relax for a while. So I'm not a child. So when a woman wants to do something, and when a woman is doing something out of her passion, उसे वो करने दो, मत barriers लगाओ उसके आगे. And that's what I did. I बहुत बहुत ज्यादा barriers आते थे, बहुत ज्यादा feelings आती थी कि okay, ये रोक दिया जाएगा, खत्म हो जाएगा. But I think my profession was always my priority, and I think I'm nothing without my writing. You know, it gives me peace. It gives me a very soothing feel. So जो काम मुझे peace देता है वो मैं छोड़ दूंगी तो मैं वैसे ही आधी मर जाऊंगी. I just don't want to get into that zone. So that's what I think. These are the thoughts that always helped me move on. Because मैं हमेशा लाइफ का एम कर रही हूँ ना. मैं जाना तो यार सबने है. अगेन वही बात है कि लाइफ एंड डेथ इज ऑल a reality now. Death is also a reality. But you should not plan for death because planning of death is khudkushi and khudkushi is haram. And
And
khudkushi
I
सिर्फ
think
वो
one,
नहीं है कि आप छलांग लगा दें कहीं से जाके.
bilkul, self kill. One of the other things that, which comes to mind is honesty. Okay. There is honesty of reality. There is honesty of this new life, this new self. There's also honesty of fear, Asma. And I feel that a lot of many women tend to, once उन्होंने अपनी जर्नी फॉलो कर ली होती है या अपनी जर्नी वो चल चुकी होती है, तो वो फियर को थोड़ा सा डाउन प्ले करती है. And you haven't done that because you have always spoken about where there has been fear, where there's been lack of fear, and where you've overcome your fear. So, coming to the second time, when you have, when the recurring, when it recurred, cancer came back, what was the feeling then, if I may ask?
It was a shock for me. Natural. It was very sudden. So that's why it's a shock. Again, एक सडन लंप. अब इस बार इंडिकेशन उस तरह की नहीं आई थी बॉडी से, बट एक लंप था जो मुझे अचानक फील हुआ एंड आई टुक ऑल द क्विक एक्शंस एंड आई यू नो गॉट होल्ड ऑफ इट कि अच्छा ये हो गया है. बट या आई वाज अ लिटिल 2 दिन मैं काफी वो थी. नहीं समझ आ रहा था कि ओके नाउ. एंड समझ ये नहीं आ रहा था अगेन. देयर वाज नो फियर ऑफ अगेन डाइंग. आई एम वेरी ऑनेस्ट अबाउट इट. बट आई वाज लाइक या अब थोड़ा सा हॉल्ट आएगा लाइफ में. अब थोड़ा सा पेन दोबारा बढ़ेगा. बट देन अगेन आई काउंसल्ड माई सेल्फ. And this time I cried. I didn't laugh. And I think this time there was no denial. There was acceptance in the very first moment. Because the and I always say कि crying is always good and it's always life के सारे emotions को enjoy करना चाहिए. Because ये सब emotions अल्लाह ने बनाए हुए हैं. So fear भी है, scare भी है, खुशी भी है, रोना भी है. So this time I cried. For 10 minutes, good 10 minutes I cried. And my husband and my kids, they were upset because they have never seen me crying like this. Though I was standing in a corner and crying. And my husband said that no, everything will be fine. I said, yeah, I know everything will be fine. I am not crying because of the fact that something will go wrong. Let me cry thodi der because this will heal me. And then after that crying, because I've started speaking to Allah a lot. That's my biggest, I think, peacemaker, you can say that. So I just talked to Allah and I was like, okay, now this is, you have written in my fate. And again, I'm not scared. This is exactly what I talked to him at that time. And I said, I'm not scared. Even if if you're planning me to bring to you, it's okay. But one thing that ज़्यादा गड़बड़ ना कीजिएगा, sudden हो जाए तो ज़्यादा बेहतर है. And the other thing that I requested Allah is that I really want time because up to I have started living a meaningful life. Give me some time because I really want to do something for this cause in my country and for the females of my country, for the daughters of my country, for the sisters of my country, for the mothers of my country. And I really want that when I leave this world now. So बस लोग ये writing is one thing. लोग कहेंगे कि अच्छा एक writer थी, लिखती थी. But मैं साल में कोई एक चीज लिख रही होती हूँ. And मतलब 80% of my time goes to breast cancer now. So I really want females of my country to remember me कि okay, एक औरत थी जो हमारे लिए कुछ करके गई है on breast cancer. So this is what I prayed to Allah, that I want some time and create ease, and बाकी आई हैव एक्सेप्टेड इट, ठीक है आपने लिखा है आप ही निकालेंगे। लेकिन कैंसर को मैंने जरूर बोला कि मैडम यू नीड टू बिहेव एंड यू हैव टू गेट लॉस्ट सून। उस पे मैं बहुत रिजिड हूँ। आई एम बीइंग वेरी हम्बल विद माय गॉड, बट आई एम वेरी वेरी रिजिड विद दिस menace inside me, and I just tell her, and I talk to my tumor by the way every day, and I just tell my tumor that go away. बिकॉज कल एक इंटरव्यू में बात करी थी, और जो खातून थी उन्होंने बात बताई, मुझे नहीं ये पता थी कि चाइना में देयर इज एक एक वो है जोन है जिसमें वो ये कहते हैं कि talk to your cancer every day and tell your cancer that you cannot do anything with me. So I told her, I said, I talk to my cancer every day and I tell my cancer that just get lost. और मैं
Leave
तुम्हारे
me
सामने
alone.
नहीं हारूंगी, मैं तुम्हारे से हिम्मत नहीं हारूंगी। हाँ, अल्लाह के सामने मैं अपने रो लूंगी, लेकिन तुम्हारी वजह से मैं नहीं रोऊंगी। These are the positive talks that I think a cancer patient should start doing. And honestly, um, दो तीन बुरी बुरी बातें कैंसर को बोलो, you'll feel good about it. You'll
And
really
I
feel good about it.
and I and I love the way you gender specified cancer as a her के निकल जाओ मेरी जिंदगी से
Exactly.
you she and this is all about mindfulness and willpower, Asma,
Yes.
which takes us through so many difficult journeys क्योंकि presence of mind and having that strength of your own heart and brain connection is what allows you to get through really really tough times. मैं काफी देर से वेट कर रही हूँ कि अब अस्मा उठेंगी, अब अस्मा उठेंगी, अब अस्मा उठेंगी, बट वो अभी तक नहीं उठी बिकॉज आई हैव बीन वेरी वेरी माइंडफुल के योर बॉडी माइट बी सिग्नलिंग यू कि you need to move
नहीं,
around a
एक्चुअली
little bit.
इस वक्त इतना पेन नहीं है। When I started the interview, I was not comfortable, so that's why I said कि I might move here and there. But I think मैंने कुछ एंगल ऐसा बनाया हुआ है इस वक्त कि I can,
Okay.
I'm fine. Thank
Or
you.
you liked speaking on the Shifam platform. That's why आपने कहा कि बस
Yeah.
अभी मेरी strength ठीक है. Coming to a close, this has been such an inspiring moment for me. मैं आपको आपके इंटरव्यू शुरू होने से पहले मैं बता रही थी अस्मा के having researched and having seen कि आपने कितनी you've screen written, you've produced, there are a lot of serials that you are the face behind and the person behind those successful serials. um, right now as Asma is a driving force and an advocate for breast cancer survivors, breast cancer support, um, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगी for all those women who are listening, not just who are getting diagnosed, getting screened, might not have it in their families like you never had it in your family? What is that one word of wisdom or one directional moment जो आप उनको कहना चाहेंगी?
I just want to say to all the women, because I just try to give different messages because there are a lot of like interviews happening, and from this platform I just want to tell every woman that stand united, सारी औरतें united हो जाओ on this cause of breast cancer, because this is your right. Your life is your right, and we are losing our lives because of no reason. हम अपनी जिंदगियां गवा रहे हैं because of society के pressures, society के stupid taboos, sometimes male members की वजह से, sometimes even female members की वजह से, because your SAS stops or you know your own daughters tell you कि ना करें. So complex है. And then the females of my country are also dying because of lack of facilities in the health system. So rise, stand, start talking about it. Even अगर कैंसर आज नहीं भी है, ब्रेस्ट कैंसर, बट किसी ना किसी को फैमिली में होता है, start thinking about it. Start thinking about bringing a change in the system. Because in Pakistan हमारे पास नेशनल कैंसर रजिस्ट्री नहीं है अभी तक, ठीक है? हमारे पास ब्रेस्ट कैंसर की वो फैसिलिटीज नहीं है, पूरे कराची में 2 पेट स्कैन की मशीनें हैं, इज इट इनफ फॉर द काइंड ऑफ केसेस दैट वी हैव इन द कंट्री? नो। हमारे पास सर्जन इतने नहीं है, हमारे पास फैसिलिटीज नहीं है। uh, हमारे हेल्थ एजेंडा पे, पाकिस्तान के हेल्थ एजेंडा पे ब्रेस्ट कैंसर कहीं अभी स्टैंड नहीं कर रहा है, बिकॉज हम पोलियो से ही बाहर नहीं निकले ना।
बिल्कुल।
लेकिन दैट्स नॉट माई प्रॉब्लम, बीइंग अ वुमन दैट्स नॉट माई प्रॉब्लम। It's the responsibility of the government, it's the responsibility of the state, because health is my right. And being a woman, if this is the biggest issue in Pakistan right now for the females of the country, then it should come on the national agenda, national health agenda of the country. And I'm request and I'm asking females कि इस बात को movement बना दो, खड़े हो जाओ इस cause के ऊपर, with females like me, uh, with with females, even like Samina Alvi, the first lady. कॉज पे आवाज में जुड़ने की जरूरत है, औरतों का साथ देने की जरूरत है। ये जब तक नेशनल इशू नहीं बनेगा, ये जब तक हेल्थ के एजेंडा की प्रायोरिटी पे इशू नहीं आएगा, ये कैंसर का नंबर बढ़ता जाएगा। एंड बाय द वे, यू कोटेड 1 out of 9 and 9 out of 1 and 40,000, 90,000, पिछले 4 साल से मैं ये नंबर्स कोट कर रही हूँ।
बिल्कुल।
ठीक है, एंड दीज नंबर्स आर नॉट इवन द नंबर्स ऑफ माई कंट्री,
Because there
दीज
is
आर
no
ग्लोबल
census.
नंबर्स,
Yes.
because there is no national cancer registry ना। सो नेशनल कैंसर रजिस्ट्री आएगी तो असल बॉम्ब
Numbers पता
ब्लास्ट होगा,
चलेंगे.
actual bomb blast tab hoga, actual dhamaka tab hoga, because the number is higher, I think, in Pakistan than what we are claiming and talking about.
Absolutely.
So just a request to all the females that whoever in whatever capacity can talk about it, question, raise the question, because this is the question for the life of the women of Pakistan.
Absolutely. And these are such meaningful words कि अगर हम ही अपनी सेहत के बारे में सोचेंगे, समझेंगे, हम जानेंगे कि क्या हमें सहूल all those kinds of things जो हमें मुयस्सर होनी चाहिए, हमारे रीच में होनी चाहिए,
Yeah.
वो नहीं है. May it be through a government channel, may it be through a private channel, because most of the हमारे जो मुल्क के अंदर initiatives हैं, those are private initiatives.
Yeah.
They are privately run initiatives, unfortunately. Asma, this has been such a pleasure. And jate jate, I tried to cover as many questions that we got in, but one of the questions that we will leave this platform of Shifam with is, kya aap in the future coming months, years, days, aap soch rahi hain to write something which incorporates breast cancer awareness
I've
in
always
your
written
work?
a film. The script is ready. Last 1.5 years से उसकी फंडिंग के मसाइल आ रहे थे, बिकॉज इस तरह की फिल्म्स पे ज़रा फंडिंग मुश्किल हो जाती है, बट अगैन मैं हिम्मत नहीं हारी, तो मैंने थोड़ा उस पर, फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम इन पाकिस्तान, आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग क्राउड फंडिंग, एंड आई started pledging, asking the females to pledge for that film, and I got a good response, but unfortunately COVID आ गया. So एक fundraiser मेरा event हुआ, उसके बाद COVID की वजह से रुका, and during COVID I was being diagnosed again. But November mid say inshallah I'm starting my fundraising again, and I will make this film, because the idea of this film is not only to take into the normal cinemas, but मुझे लगता है entertainment के through आप लोग और ऐसी चीज में बहुत अच्छी तरह चीजों को समझा सकते हैं. So the plan is to take that film into villages of the country through mobile cinemas, and I'm also inshallah will initiate a fund by the name of, because the name of the film is Fly, and I will initiate the fund because of for breast cancer patients. So the proceedings of the film will go in that fund, and वहाँ से is breast cancer care. So inshallah November से मैं दोबारा, अल्लाह मियाँ ने हिम्मत मुझे दी तो मैं ये करूँगी, and ये मुझे करना है. This is one very important thing जो मुझे करनी है, because even if we look across the border, तो आपके जो इस तरह के sensitive issues होते हैं उस पे films बन जाती हैं, क्योंकि films में आप openly ज़रा बात कर सकते हैं, and you can give a very good message in a very interesting way. So wish me luck for that, and I need more and more females through this platform अगर कोई सुन रही हैं, and if they want to pledge for this cause, so I can share the details with the Shifam people, and they can, even
Shifam,
a small
Shifam.
you know uh, one
Totally.
penny or two penny counts for this cause, क्योंकि ये फिल्म बनानी बड़ी जरूरी है.
Absolutely. And Shafam is with you. I am with you. Everybody who is connected with women's causes are with you. So thank you so much, Asma. We are going to be highlighting Fly, and we will be sharing your journey for raising funds, and then inshallah see it in a rural village. Uh,
Inshallah.
Sometimes soon on a mobile cinema.
Inshallah.
So much love, so much force, so much strength, and kudos to you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for
Take
being
care.
with us.
Thank
Take
you.
care of
Allah.
yourself. Khuda Hafiz.